because of how he travels to the different. Well, that's right. Nosso does the same thing.
Yes, they do.
Right.
They're the ones who start off in the lower levels.
Right. So Nosso is another good one to watch.
Nosso, the Astral City. It's in Brazilian movie, but you can get it with English. Portuguese. Sorry, it's in Portuguese. It is a Brazilian movie, but it's in Portuguese, so you can get it with English
Brazilian
subtitles.
Is not a language.
Portuguese is the language, but there are English subtitles, so you can look up Nosso on YouTube or Amazon and rent it from there. And then the other one, Defending Your Life.
I think probably find it on YouTube.
You could, yes, you could probably find it Netflix, YouTube, Amazon.
Right. That's a good one too, because that explains a lot about, they simplify the process, but it does explain a lot about what happens in the afterlife. So that's a good one.
So are we greeted by our loved ones when we die?
You're greeted by your belief system.
Okay.
So if you believe that your loved one will greet you, then that's what you see.
Okay.
If you believe that Jesus will greet you, then you see Jesus. If you believe that Siddhartha, instead of Gautama Buddha, that's Siddhartha in Buddhist faith. If you believe that Siddhartha will be there waiting for you, then Siddhartha shows up. That's how it works.
So what about someone like how I used to be, because of my Catholic faith and upbringing, I was convinced I'd be going to purgatory, possibly hell, because I figured my life was that bad. If I were to have died while thinking like that, what would I have experienced? Believing that I was such an evil sinner that I was going to not be allowed into heaven.
Well, thank God you didn't die, huh?
I know. Thank God I'm still here and I can see things differently.
I don't know. That's a good question. I believe that in that case, and you've seen us do this, you've done this, where we command Archangel Michael to go help that soul and take them to where they're supposed to go. Because we don't know where they're supposed to go, but Archangel Michael does.
Well, I figured it would be like in the movie Nosso, where you go to a place that, you even mentioned it in there, is this purgatory. I mean, it was a horrible place.
Well, that's according to Nosso.
According to Nosso, right. And they stayed there for a while until they realized, wait, I don't have to be here.
It's possible that's the way it is, but the Ascended Masters have never explained it to me that way.
Okay.
So even though Nosso claims that's the way it is, because it's never been shown to me that way, I couldn't vouch for that.
Okay.
No, so all I know is that Archangel Michael and the angels, they will take the soul to where the soul needs to go. And if they need to rest for a period of time, which sometimes they need to, then they take them to a place where they rest. And then after that, they start training them when they're ready.
So no one is ever taken to a place where they're punished?
Not that I know of. No, I know it's in the Bible. You go to you know where.
Right, even Our Lady of Fatima, she supposedly showed the children of Fatima hell.
See, supposedly.
Supposedly, right? I don't know.
And again, I'm not saying that she didn't, but based on what I've learned from the Ascended Masters, and they're even I forgot the
because demons do exist.
They do, but it's not called that, or that's not.
It's not called hell.
Right.
Okay.
For example, we deal with folks that have possessions, and those are demons.
Right.
And you don't see the people spinning their heads or.
No, they don't spit out vile substances or anything like that.
Right. So sometimes things are done for dramatic effect, right?
Right.
Or to scare people. Maybe that's what has happened in that case. I don't know. But all I know is that it's never been explained that way to me. Every soul, God created every soul. God will not. He would be very unfair if he just said, you have one life to live, and if you don't live it right, you're going to where. Why would he want to destroy his creation?
I don't know.
And he supposedly loves each and every one of us. See, that doesn't fit right with what I understand about God.
Well, same thing when I'm sorry to interrupt you, but even with the angels, because see, there are the good angels and there are the bad angels, and the bad angels are the ones who are with the devil.
No,
so
I don't say that word, but okay.
Not you, they, as in people out there.
Okay.
So if that's the case, do these people who do bad things, murder and etc., go and live with the so-called now demons and bad angels?
No, those are choices that are made by the individuals, but they won't just give them up and say, okay, you go live down there. They're given a chance to change your life.
Okay.
That's just the way it goes. That's why we have so many chances with re-embodiments. So we go and we learn, and then we say, okay, I'm ready to change some things. And then we come back and try it again. and do it differently.
So once we die, we're greeted however our belief system is.
Right.
And then we go back, review what we've done in this past life, what we were able to accomplish, what we've balanced, what we have not balanced, and then we get to start all over again and choose what we want to do next.
Right. To balance more.
And then,
once we don't need to balance anything anymore, all the karma is balanced, that's when we ascend and we stay in heaven if we choose to. We don't have to come back. And that's when we're called an ascended master.
And that's what Jesus did.
Jesus,
he embodied
Abraham, Moses,
the Spirit of Christ.
Exactly.
And then ascended.
That's correct. Moses, Elijah, Siddhartha, or Gautama Buddha, Muhammad, all the prophets that we know of, they're ascended masters. That's what they're called. And it doesn't matter who Krishna, from the Hindu faith.
Right.
Even though they call them gods now, and some people misunderstand that. They're thinking that anyone that practices Hinduism, they're saying that those individuals are God and forget about the big God, but it's not the same thing. That those are like mini gods, right?
Right. Like what we call saints in the Catholic faith.
Exactly. They just don't call them saints. They call them gods and goddesses, but it's...
Or in the Buddhist faith, they call them Buddhas and Bodhisattvas.
Exactly. But they don't mean it as they're replacing the big God. There's still only one big God. So something to clarify. But before we close, what I wanted to say was that, so depending on your karma and depending on how much you balance and what you've chosen, the choices you've made in your life, the amount of karma can affect you. And the way, as the more karma you accumulate, it starts to affect you in negative ways. And the biggest way it affects you is in the form of illnesses and diseases.
Okay.
And so individuals don't put the two together, but many individuals will wind up with very chronic diseases or illnesses, and that's because of karma that needs to be balanced. And you've seen situations where we've dealt with individuals where the doctors have said, oh, well, if you don't do this, you're going to die, and this and that.
Yes.
Right? And with the help of their ascended masters, folks, they're fine. Well, that's because they got help with balancing the karma. And the more karma you balance, the better things get. You start to improve. That's why you'll see that with some people ask this question, well, how long will it take for me to get healed? We don't know.
Depends on the karma that you have to get balanced.
Exactly, and if you do your part. Because, with some cases, they're given certain things to do.
And then they don't do them.
If they don't do those things, then they're not balancing the karma to speed up the process.
And then they stay right where they are, or it gets worse because they're not doing their part.
That's right. But
so make sure you do your part. That's the bottom line.
But if they do their part. If
you want to.
Right. If they do their part, then it expedites the process. But we still don't know how long it will take. You've seen that some people, they get healed almost within, you send them a message, and within half an hour, they send a message, oh, I'm fine.
Right.
And then we've had individuals who worked on for months.
Yes.
Sometimes years.
Yes.
At least. Right?
Yes.
We see improvements, but it's taking time because it's all based on the karma. And the more that they create dharma, the quicker that will go.
Right.
But if we don't do that, then it takes longer. So that, I don't know if that helps with the journey that you're talking about.
Yes, I believe that does cover a lot of the journey of the soul. There's the basic points, the major points for the journey of the soul that I want to make sure were put out there in accordance to the karma video that we had started and put out there before as well. Thank you very much.
You're welcome.
Appreciate you sitting with us.
People ask, well, so how do I find out what my life purpose is? And that's where the different tools come in, right?
Right.
And as we're guided to present certain tools to them to help them with that, then those tools are given to them. And then they start to get closer and closer. As they clear karma, they start to understand more. That's how it works. Now, I'll give you a fair warning here. Sometimes what you're guided to do as far as what your purpose is not something, you might be shocked by it. You'll be like, wait a minute, I never thought about doing that. And it's up to you at that point if you're going to do that, right?
Right.
If you do it, you'll see the benefit of it. If you don't, you'll understand what went wrong because you decided to take your own path. Right.
And we've had individuals who've said, no, I don't want to deal with any of this anymore. I want to do my own thing.
Right. And it's not a punishment because remember the ascended masters of God, they give you you have free will, so you choose to do what you want.
Right, and they'll still be there to guide you and help you.
Good
But
point.
it just won't be helping you with what you wanted to do for this life. You know, they'll still be helping you, but you won't be on track for doing what it is that you agreed to come and do in this life.
I'm not going to be on track. It will just take a longer time to get there.
Oh, there you go.
It's like taking the long road, right, instead of taking the shortcut.
Okay, going around the mountain instead of going through it.
Exactly. Because the job of the angels and ascended masters is to help us accomplish what we need to accomplish quickly.
Okay.
But us, being the way we are, we doubt things. We have to see it to believe it, or see them to believe them. It takes us longer because we're always second guess. You know, I do it all the time.
You do.
You know that, right? Even though I get the messages when it comes to me, like, really?
I follow right away. My husband, well, I don't know. That might have just been me. No, it was not you. It couldn't have come through like that if it was you. Not at all.
So I do it myself, just to let you know, okay? But if you stick with it, even if it doesn't make any sense, and there's some fantastic stories of individuals that have followed guidance, and believe me, you guys should put your stories on there.
Yes, if you're one of our clients, please post your story.
Just because you have some wonderful stories. People just picking up and leaving with nothing because they were told just go over here, go start over, and then their lives change for the better. You know, things like that. It's fantastic. And that's how you find out what your real purpose is. So.
Okay. Please, if you have any more questions, or if you have something sparked your interest, you want to hear more about it, let us know. Comment. Make sure you subscribe and like. If you want to be a part of the Facebook group, go ahead and find it, Clearing, Healing, and Guidance, and we'll help make sure you stay in the loop.